Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Regina and this is Our Gifted Garden. So in today's video, it is October, I can never remember the date, y'all. It's October the 10th and we are going to be planting garlic. Yes, fall, you might feel like your gardening time is over if you live in a cool climate or even in a warm climate. It is not. Now is the time to plant garlic, and very soon it'll be time to plant onions. We're gonna get those things in the ground that we'll be harvesting next spring, late spring, early summer. So planting garlic, first off, is not hard. It's actually, in my opinion, one of the easiest things you can grow. The one thing you need is time. So that's why we are starting right now. But before we get into it, go ahead and click that like button. If you want to wait until you get to that moment, then of course you can, but trust me, you'll like this because you're going to learn how to plant garlic. So go ahead and click that like button and go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in gardening content. Click that notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload a video. I'm working on a 1 video per week schedule. That's what I'm hoping to be able to keep to. So lots of content coming your way. And also, if you know any gardeners who would benefit from this content, please go ahead and share that with them. Those are easy and free ways that you can help to support the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Now, I'm growing in North Texas. I'm just outside of Dallas, and my zone is zone 8A. So if you're in this area, now's the time to plant garlic. If you're in a different area, it might vary a bit, but you probably know by now that a simple Google search is going to give you the information you need on exactly when to plant your garlic. But I'm pretty sure the way that I'm planting it is going to be helpful no matter where you're growing. So whether you need to be planting it now or a little bit later, still watch the video. You're going to find the content that you need. Okay, so now let's get into it. Okay, so first off, planting garlic. Last year was my very first year growing garlic. I'd never done it before. I just decided to try it on a whim because the year before I had wanted to grow it and I realized I didn't think about it until spring, so it was kind of too late. And so last fall, I decided to plant garlic. I hadn't ordered any from any seed catalogs or anything like that. So I'd read that you can use grocery store garlic, so that's what I did. I purchased organic garlic from the grocery store. I purchased organic because I know that that hasn't been sprayed with any sort of, anything that they spray them with to keep them from, germinating. So I knew that it wouldn't have been sprayed with anything like that. So I planted organic grocery store garlic and it was really successful. Here's a clip or a quick little picture of my garlic harvest. I grew, I want to say it was like 105 heads of garlic. So it was more than what I needed for a year. I use a lot of garlic in my food, but I don't think I use more than like a head of garlic per week. So for me, if I end up with like 50 to 75 cloves, because I do use some for for making pesto and things like that where I'll use a lot at once. But 50 to 75 cloves is probably enough for my family for the year. So this year I'm going to be planting 100. So I grew, like I said, grocery store garlic. So if you have not ordered garlic and it's time for you to be planting in the next week or so, now you have a little bit of room, you can get planted in the next week or so, then don't stress. Go to the grocery store, buy some organic garlic, and you can use that. It'll grow just fine. It's a soft neck variety. It's not hard neck garlic, it's soft neck garlic. And it grew excellently for me. So I bet it'll do the same for you. So the first thing you want to do with your garlic, let me bend over, I have mine ready here. But, garlic comes in a whole bulb or clove or whatever you want to call it. You want to break that apart because you're not planting the whole thing. You're planting each little piece. I think these are called toes. I need to stop moving this paper bag. It's going to interfere with my audio. But you plant the individual pieces of the garlic. So each bulb will have, several pieces in it, sometimes 8 to 10 or so. Those are what you plant. Now, I am using actually garlic that I grew last year as my seed garlic for this year. So I still have plenty left that I'm using to cook with. And then I set aside my largest cloves to use for seed garlic for this year. So when you're picking your garlic, pick the large ones because the larger the clove, the larger the piece, the larger the head of garlic it's gonna grow. So pick your garlic, go to the grocery store or order it from seed catalogs. I've only grown soft neck because that's what they That's what they have at the grocery store. Eventually I might try some other varieties, but for now this worked for me. But you plant them the same either way. So first thing you're going to do is break apart each of the garlic cloves or each of the bulbs into the individual pieces. And you want to do that while mostly trying to keep the paper outside of that. You want to keep that intact. You don't want to peel that. You don't need to peel it. Just separate them from each other. So that's your first step. And I separated all of mine. It probably took me maybe about 30 minutes or so because I did it while watching TV or watching TV on my phone. But you can see that I'm separating each of those pieces, trying to be gentle with it. You don't want to break it because remember, these are your seeds. You don't want to break them and try to keep the paper intact. So it took me a little while to do it. As you can see, I've sped up the footage, of course. But getting all of that broken up is the first step. Once you've done that, that's essentially all the prep work. Now you're ready to plant your garlic. Okay, so I have laid out all of my garlic, where it's going to go. I'll show that to you guys in just a minute. But before I do, let me show you really quickly how I plant the garlic. So this is the garlic that you saw me separate. When you plant it, flat side down, pointy side up. So the part that was attached to the bottom of the garlic bulb, that part goes down. And then the pointy side goes up. And you want to plant it 2 to 3 inches deep. And that's pretty much it. And then you water it in. So I'm planting part of my garlic here, and then I'm going to find another space in my garden, I think where I have some wax beans growing. I'm going to pull those up and plant the rest of it because it didn't all fit here. Now, just digging around in here, I found some ants, lots of bugs in this soil. Not a ton of ants like it's a whole ant bed, but like quite a few. So I am hoping that that doesn't cause too big of an issue because, to be honest, there's ants like everywhere in this garden. That's just Texas, and they're everywhere. So hopefully that's not a big deal. I like to space my garlic 3 to 4 inches apart. So on center spacing, 3 to 4 inches. I don't really bother with rows. I do it more of in a square foot way because I don't have to walk through the beds to get to stuff. So yeah, so I just 3 to 4 inches on center. So that means either 9 or 12 pieces of garlic per square foot is about what you can get. I just estimate. I didn't get my little measuring thing out here to measure it all, but that's how I space it. So I have it all laid out, and then I just press it into the soil. After that, water it in, and then the next step after that is just before it gets cold. You can do it now or you can wait a little bit, but before it gets cold, really cold for the winter, you want to make sure you mulch your garlic really well. I use wood chip mulch that I buy either from a recycling place where I buy my compost or that I get from, big box store. But you can mulch it with straw, you can mulch it with leaves, whatever you have available to you. But yeah, so you want to make sure you mulch it to keep those bulbs protected. All right, so let's take a look. So I just planted all of the garlic behind me. See the bed? Can't see it. Could you bury garlic completely? Remember, 2 to 3 inches. However, when I was recording that, my battery died. And so it got like the first couple minutes of me planting and then not the rest. But here's the end product. I didn't realize it until I was done. But it doesn't take long to plant garlic. Like once you lay it out, you do your spacing, it takes like 5 minutes to plant. That was about 50 or 60 bulbs of garlic. And then I have another area where I'm gonna plant the rest of it, but I won't video that because you don't need to see it twice. Planting garlic, it's really not hard. This area, I'm gonna water it next. Actually, I'm gonna turn on my sprinklers because I need to water all of this stuff. But I'm gonna water it in, and that's gonna be like it. Before it gets cold, I am gonna cover this area with some mulch. I had mulch here earlier that is mostly broken down. So before it gets cold for winter, I'm gonna mulch it. I actually have mulch. I'll probably do it soon. Mulch my garlic so it stays protected. But in the next like week or so, it'll probably start sprouting, and so I'll start to see green coming up out of the ground. But other than that, with garlic, water it, fertilize it kind of like you would onions. I want to keep, like I will fertilize this area eventually, but I'm going to wait till the spring for that to use fertilizer. Right now it'll sprout, it'll overwinter, and then once it starts growing really well in the spring, I'll start fertilizing it. But that's kind of it. Garlic is pretty low maintenance. Just getting it in the ground in the fall is the hardest part because it does take so long. All right. Thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I hope that you found the content helpful. I hope that you are gonna go get you some garlic. It's not too late. Get it done sometime this month and you're good if you're here in North Texas. If you're not in North Texas, definitely look up when to plant garlic for your zone and your area and plant some garlic. You can grow, this garlic can be something that you never have to buy again because it doesn't take a lot of space to grow a lot of garlic. I wanna say I grew 100 heads of garlic or bulbs of garlic in maybe it was like 7 or 8 square feet. That was it. And so I don't have to buy garlic, and I have enough. I have plenty in my pantry to use, and hopefully that'll last me. Obviously I haven't used it all and the year hasn't gone by yet, but it seems like it's gonna be more than enough to last me. And I had plenty to have 100 seed garlic pieces, 100 garlic toes to plant for this year from what I harvested. So I didn't have to buy any new seed garlic either. So grow you some garlic. It's one of those really fun things to grow that's very rewarding. And I'll see you next time. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please, if you have not done so already, click that like button. Of course, subscribe to my channel for more gardening content. I would greatly appreciate it. And click that notification bell so that you never miss an upload, and share this video with other gardeners who need to learn a simple way to plant and grow their garlic. And of course, check out my Amazon links in the description if you're looking for any gardening products. I have links to ones that I like and that I use. And of course, as an Amazon affiliate, I do earn a small commission off of those sales, but the price remains unchanged for you. So another free way that you can support the channel. Until we meet again, have a great one. Bye.